For this video, I will be going over point A of the exam, which is discuss poverty and how it relates to population growth, vulnerability to hazards, and environmental degradation. Should government/private organizations help to reduce poverty, and how? Poverty is a state or situation where a person or group of people find themselves in, where they don't have enough money or basic things that they need to live. Basically means where a person doesn't make enough money to meet their basic needs. A lack of money in modern society oftentimes put the person with no money in vulnerable positions, whether it mean that they're homeless or have a lack of education, constantly be starving, or doing whatever they can to scrape enough money together just to support themselves. And the lack of money ties into a multitude of problems in our society, like population growth, vulnerability to hazards, and environmental degradation. Poverty can lead to population growth in two ways: a lack of education and as mean to try and get money from the government. According to a study published by the United Nations Population Fund, when women are better enabled to complete their education, it strengthens their economic security and well-being and that of their families. Cumulatively, this contributes to development progress and poverty reduction. From personal experiences in my hometown that I've seen and heard, it's common for women who don't have stable access to money to have a lot of kids with a bunch of different men, using the child support garnered from these men as well as government stipends to support themselves. This leads to an increase of population for the sake of money. Poverty can lead to hazard vulnerability because most people who live in poverty live in rundown houses or even tents on the side of a road. This lack of substantial protective housing can lead to an increase in susceptibility of diseases caused by exposure to cold temperatures, an increase in mortality caused by natural hazards like flooding, snowstorms, or tornadoes, and an increase in susceptibility to biological hazards like diseases shared through needles or close proximity from another person. Lastly, poverty can lead to environmental degradation because people living in tents may not have access to or care about throwing away their leftover trash, clothes, belongings, etc., and may leave it all for someone else to put up with. This is an example of pollution, and if their trash were to be carried to an ocean or a forest, animals may consume it, become sick from it, and die. Tying back into how people in poverty will do whatever they can to scrape money together, poverty-stricken people may take up jobs that work with the land, but a lack of education or appreciation towards the land may cause them to overexploit the land. I personally believe that the government should be doing more for people in poverty, even if it's the bare minimum. A study published by Rachel West gives numbers on how the U.S. could end homelessness. The main one being that for 1/3 the cost of tax-free profits on home sales, the number is $66.5 billion. Policymakers could end homelessness in America because the estimated amount to end homelessness in America is $22.5 billion. And if policymakers don't want to spend the extra money to build homeless people or people living in inadequate housing better houses, transforming abandoned malls and complexes into homeless shelters could be a more cost-efficient way to home people who don't have the money or means to support themselves.